Hello, now I am going to lecture on basic elementary functions. What type of basic elementary functions we know? One is polynomial functions, rational function, exponential function, logarithmic function. At first, if we see the polynomial function, at next slide we can see different types of polynomial functions we have. That is y equal to c. This is constant function. That is when power of x equal to 0, we get here y equal to c or y equal to a0. C and a0 both are constant, so this is constant function. Linear function, which is in fact polynomial of degree 1. An algebraic expression of this linear function is y equal to a0 plus a1x. If we put here value of k 1, in that case we get this one. Or we know linear function is y equal to ax plus b or y equal to mx plus c. Whatever you know, this is linear function. Then quadratic function, which is polynomial of degree 2 because power of x is 2. Cubic function, power of x is 3, y equal to x cube plus bx square plus cx plus d. And by this way we can find also polynomial function of degree n when maximum power of the polynomial function will be n. Now other functions you can see. Rational function is algebraic expression is k by x. Exponential function, the form is y equal to a to the power x. Base a is constant and we can see independent variable on the power. Logarithmic function, y equal to log a base x, where base a is positive. These are the basic elementary functions we will face in future. Now we will see the graphical expressions of these basic elementary functions. Y equal to c, which is in fact constant function, and this graph of the constant function is parallel line to x-axis. This function in fact is indifferent to x. Whatever the value of x, the dependent variable y is constant, y equal to c, c for constant. Okay, graph of the linear function, we can see this is straight line. This is straight line function, y equal to mx plus c. This is negative slope function, and y equal to mx plus c. This is positive slope function. We will in details explain at the next lecture on linear function. We will focus in details. This linear function is very important for business, so we will focus in details at next class. Okay, graph of the quadratic functions. We know usually quadratic function and the graphs is as parabola or below above, below open or above open parabola, and power of x maximum maximum power is 2. Cubic function of this type shape, okay, maximum power of x equal to 3. Now, the rational function, which is y equal to k by x, that is k, this is ratio of two functions, k is constant, and in denominator x is another function. So k by x, we get the graph of this type. This is as hyperbolic function, rectangular hyperbolic function. In economics, we can see application of this function. We know fixed cost is a constant amount. In that case, average fixed cost will be fixed cost divided by quantity of production Q. And as quantity increases, our average fixed cost decreases, and vice versa. Exponential function, y equal to a to the power x of this type, ever increasing. Exponential function is ever increasing or ever decreasing of this type. Also it can be ever increasing or ever decreasing. And finally, this is logarithmic functions of this type. Shape of the logarithmic functions of this type, you can see this function is also increasing, but there is a difference how increases the exponential function and the logarithmic function. They increases, both are increasing function, but there is a difference also how they increases. One increases at increasing rate, another increases but at decreasing rate. But we will focus on this at later lectures. Now I want to focus why we have to know functions. Why we have to know these basic elementary functions that I showed. And question is, what is the face of a real life function? Whether this knowledge of basic elementary functions will it help us in future, and what type of real life function, or how will our basic elementary functions help us to find the real life functions. If we see these above mentioned functions, different functions, they are totally different, of different shapes. Suppose straight line function, exponential function, quadratic function, okay, logarithmic functions, or this is trigonometric functions. But absolutely their shape is different. In real life, we will face different types of relationships. But if we want to relate this relationship and want to predict what will be the future value, what formula or shape they follow, in that case we should have idea of basic elementary functions. In fact, we will try to approximate the real life data or points to our basic elementary functions. For this reason, we should have basic idea about these basic elementary functions. Otherwise, we cannot compare the real life relationship of two objects and make a decision for future. In textbook function, we face suppose y equal to minus 2x plus 5, or in general this is y equal to ax plus b. But in that case, in textbook function which we face, what is given, what is unknown? You can see a and b, these are parameters, these are given. Minus 2 and plus 5, these are parameters. Parameters are given, and here unknown is independent and dependent variables. But at real life function, we will see different scenario. At next lecture, we will explain in details.